What's up, y'all? First thing I want to ask is how the volume levels are. I haven't streamed this game, so I don't know if they're too loud, too quiet. I'm gonna turn the music down. Yeah, leave the sound effects all the way up. Turn the dialogue down. I don't use the alerters, so I don't gotta worry about that. Let's apply these changes. So I'm gonna do a scenario. But I'm not gonna start it right this second. I'm gonna wait till I've got some few more viewers, but the basis of this one is I prepare a baby bullet, which is a kind of a bullet train, high speed, goes from San Francisco down to San Jose. And the scenario is it's super hot outside, and according to this, the train might possibly break down. I've done it before. This is an interesting one. I've actually failed it more times than I've passed it, because of certain issues of remembering where buttons are and that kind of stuff. But let's get this bad boy started. Like I said, there is a 99.9% chance that this train is going to break. When you're doing scenarios and you're doing timables, sometimes the loading screens are a little on the long side. If that's too loud, y'all just holler at me, I'll turn it down. But we are currently in San Francisco. As you see, I've got a commuter train full of people in a hurry. They all want to get down to San Jose, California. This is part of one of the DLCs. But Train Sim 2, the new one, you get a European bullet train that does like 300 kilometers an hour. This little guy, it's fast, but it's not that fast. So we're gonna get in, jump in my seat, make sure my brake handle's off. Let's put it all the way up to put it down to release, get some air pressure going. Turn my independent brake on so I'm not rolling even though I'm sitting on flat ground. Turn some headlights on. Turn the back lights on so I don't get rear-ended. I don't need the reading light. Don't need no sand. Got plenty of sand out in the desert. Let's see if I get... Let's see... Throttle's at idle. Turn my cutoff valve to passenger. As you see on these dials, Wrong button. We've got multiple views. And there's more. You look at your gauges. And you see my valves went up. It shows me that I've got air pressure. I can get the train actually rolling and it'll actually stop. Let's put the reverser in, which is something I didn't do earlier. Put it in neutral. Cut off valves off. Let's release the brake. We're not going backwards, we're going forwards. And let's give it some gas. First I gotta make sure my doors are closed. And that's not doors. Let's lock the doors. Oh yeah. See, I'm jumping ahead of myself too. Let's go over and fire it up. Turn the fuel pump on. Turn the generator on. Turn my running lights on. Put my marker lights on. Gauges are always nice to be able to see, even though it's in the middle of the daylight. And it should allow me to start rolling. Oh, waiting on stupid passengers. Turn the bell on. Give them a little horn. They're all in. Let's lock the doors.
The doors are about to close.
Turn that stupid bell off. Let's give it some gas. Now with the bullet trains, you've got to 100% pay attention to your speed. Your distancing in between your stops. I'm gonna get her up to speed without going too fast. Because as soon as I clear this where I can start opening it up, I am going to open this train up. Looking at my map, I'm cruising down here, and probably dropping passengers off or picking passengers up. Looking at the pause screen, I'm going to go to Bayshore. Make a drop, or fly through Bayshore, stop at Millbur, unload my passengers, and start fixing my train. And then try to bring it back. The difference between this one and Train Sim 2 is I've got a red line on top of my speedometer. On Train Sim 2, they've got a little white dot that floats up and down on the speedometer. So this makes it easier for me to see, hey, you're going too fast. Kind of once you get up to a little bit of speed, close to where you want to be, you want to put it back in idle. Idle's kind of like cruise control in your car. But, like I was telling Shred earlier, right here, once I get up to this spot up here, I go 25 miles an hour. But I've got to wait till the back end of this train clears that spot. And if I don't, and I speed ahead, I get in trouble. So we're just going to slowly get up to speed. As soon as that red line on my speedometer speeds up. But the little marker with the A and a 0 above it, that's how much power is being put to the wheels. The little guy above it, well, that's me. And above that is a 0.0% with a straight line across. That means I am on level ground. The chances of this train doing anything crazy and rolling on its own are slim to none. But as you can hear the scraping noise, that's the train turning, because these trains actually don't like to turn. They pretty much would rather stay on a straight line. A train's axle is a free floating axle with some couplers on it to hold the train to the axles and hold the axles to the train. But they don't, they're free floating. Like if you're speeding and you go up over top of hills, you'll actually hear the train coming up off the tracks. If they're going around a corner too fast, you'll hear it sliding. Now I'm getting ready to come up to a crossing. You don't have to do this, but it's kind of realistic. Let your horn go. Pass through. Still working on getting up to 40. Passengers are possibly getting a little perturbed because we're not rolling quick enough. They'll get over it. Even though we're on a timer to drop passengers off, it's better getting them there safe than, well, flipped over somewhere on the side of the track. The good thing is, all you got to do if you're trying to figure something out, just slow it down. Since I'm looking around and not paying attention, just kind of hover over stuff. If you're having issues seeing, and it's nighttime for this version of the game, you could hold the right D-pad over and hit a button, and you can turn the internal and outside lights off and on. Well, they're fixing to let me open up. There we go. Punch it. Now above the speed limit sign on here, I'm in 8th gear. Above that is the miles per hour, which are going to slowly start to creep up because I'm applying power to the wheels. But above that is a G meter. The G meter is showing how many meters or how much G's the train's pulling. So like right now, it's showing they're getting pushed back in their seat. If I do something stupid, like slam on the brakes, the G meter goes all the way to the other end, and they start falling. Everybody just gets thrown forward in their seat. They don't really like it. What I'm going to have to do, since I put the east brake on, is it going to let me go? Nope, it's going to stop completely. So, there we go. Now it's going to pick up speed. If it came to a complete stop and wasn't building up miles per hour, then I'd have to put it back in neutral, sit and wait for a few minutes for my air pressure to build back up, and start it all over again. But now that I'm rolling, and it stayed rolling, I can just punch it and go right back up to 80 mile an hour. And as you see, there's a little bit of negative G's on the people in the back. So they're kind of getting pushed back in their seats, and we're also on we were on an upward incline. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to external view, so y'all can see a little bit of San Francisco. Turn the camera mode on, where I can fly around a little bit. Right now I'm attached to the train. I'm stuck to it. I go to the front of it, I go to the back of it, left, right, ground level, or I go up top. If I go to external and free camera, see ya. Train just gonna go. I need to get back in the train, because I'm going to have to slow down. I'm going to put this in the idle. Never mind, I got about a mile to go. Now the top right hand corner are my points, the APs. Below that is the yards of how far I've got a green light or in between signals. Below that it says 1.1 mile, 65 mile an hour speed limit zone. So I will have to slow this train down. We're getting close to that 80 mile an hour mark. I'm going to put it back into idle, which is going to take the power away from the wheels, and just let it float. Now when that 6.5 gets to about 500 yards, or pretty close to it, I'm going to start applying a little bit of brake. And I'm going to get her down to 65, put the brake back in release, keep it in neutral, or give it some gas to let it think that it's going, and put her back in neutral. A easy way to check on, if you're going to set your miles per hour is below my 68, which will be 69 soon, there is a 7. think of each one of those gears that you go up as 10 miles an hour, as long as it's on level ground. If you're on an incline going up, you're going to have to give it a little bit more power. So if it's 20, then you might want to go up to the 3. If you're on a downward and it's 20 and you're sitting at 2, you might want to go down to 1 or put it in neutral and tap your brake button. Yeah, there's some definite upgrades. Oh, I gotta slow this bad boy down. Give me some brake. Turn off the gas. Let it coast. I gotta go back in the camera view. Oh shit. Yeah, we're going back to the train for a minute. There we go. Now I've got it back up to speed. I'm gonna turn the brake back off. Just gonna let it sit here in neutral. But what I'm trying to do, because this train's supposed to brake. It will brake. It'll overheat. I will have to stop it. I'm trying to get to one of the stopping points. It'll stop it. This engine will not start. It'll pop up an overheating, or I'm gonna have to pop everything out. Turn my cab lights off. I can do that from here. Cab lights off. Cab lights off. There we go. We're doing a sunny run, so I don't need to worry about it. But yeah, Shred, you were having a little bit issues with your speed. Think of each gear as 10 miles an hour. And that could help you adjust how much speed you're getting to the wheels. Because if you toss it in neutral, you're in cruise control. As you see, the A dropped all the way back down to 0. There's no power going to the wheels. Or barely. But if I crank this back up, the number above the A, where there's a little yellow, green, and red line, it's putting power to the wheels. Just gonna get you going faster and faster and faster. But I'm gonna hit a 65, so I really don't want to go too fast. So I'm just gonna put it in neutral at 62. Is this what they do in real life? Probably not. Probably in real life they would be racing as fast as they go and then slowing it down. Oh yeah, the train you were using wasn't this powerful. But you have the ICE, which is the German bullet train. This is an American wannabe bullet train. And that train will go from 0 to like 80 miles an hour in a few hundred feet. The subway train that you were in doesn't exactly have that much get up and go. Now the freight cars, driving one of the freight engines, which I might do after this, those take forever to get up to speed, and they take forever to slow down. It's because they are used for hauling freight. They do use some of them to haul passengers. Sorry, I was looking at the other train. I kind of got distracted with a whole other thought. What happened was that train's coming probably out of San Jose, and they used the bullet front end to get there in a hurry, and then they used the kind of subway car looking front end to bring it back. Which, after this thing decides to overheat and blow up, I'll be in that. Because I'm going to have to drag the front end of this train back to the station. The tutorials for this game they're iffy. I mean, from what I've seen on Shreds and some of the other guys' streams, the tutorials are, they're not great. But it's one of those you just gotta jump in, figure it out, and that's just the way it is. I don't really care for that. I'd like them to say, push this button or push that button. Here's a manual, which there are supposedly manuals for this, either on the website or somewhere built in the game. I have not found them yet, to kind of show what every button does, what actually works, what don't. Exactly, I'd prefer to have, reading, I'm dyslexic, so I gotta read the stuff 4 or 5 times just to get it in my head. But to audibly hear it makes it a whole lot easier. We gotta slow down. We really gotta slow down. We've gotta completely slow down. We ain't gonna make it. No, we ain't gonna make it. I'm gonna have to slam this thing in reverse. Okay, this is one of those oh shit moments, like what Shred had. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my brake back off. Release this brake. I'm gonna put the reverser on. I'm gonna watch my gauges. My gauges are filling back up with air pressure. We're at air pressure. And I'll put it in gear and see if this thing will roll backwards. And there we go. No, I don't want to get up. I want to back up. I don't want to get up, I want to back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do external, front camera. No, that's not what I want to do. No, 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 no. Shh. The fun part's of trying to figure this out. Okay. I'm going to turn the brake back off. Give her a little gas. Technically, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna punch the brake. Turn the camera back off, get myself back in control of this thing. Apply some brake. Wait till I get down to 0. And I'm gonna make everybody walk out of the back of this train. Wrong button. Left on the D-pad. Everybody's getting out to the right. Get the hell off my train. Is that the safe way to do it? No, not really. Do I have a train driving license? Absolutely not. So, these guys just get off, get on, do what they gotta do. Oh, so I see what that is now. Below the road level sign, or the train level sign, is kind of my camera. So it looks like a drone. So, if I hold that down again, and go to the train, it now looks from where I'm at. Let's hold it down again, go internal. Go back to the front seat. It looks like me. Well, sorta. I'm not sitting here with a little train hat on. Lock the doors. Let's... Nope, wrong way with the brake. Brakes are released. Everything's good to go. Air pressure's building. Let's get it back in gear. And screw it, we're gonna punch it. So hopefully your asses are in your seats, because you're gonna go flying forward if you're not. Or flying backwards. Did I screw this up? Maybe. Yes, I did. Okay, stop the train completely. There's nobody on the train. And I failed. So what? It happens. Wasn't reading directions. Let's see. Oh yeah. Buttons. There's buttons on top of buttons on top of buttons on top of buttons. But if you actually watch the Train Sim World guys who designed the game, they'll fly right through it. They'll press a whole bunch of buttons, do all kinds of stuff. Let's go to New York. Let's pick a timeable so I can pick my own train. We'll take the CSX, they're easy to drive. And I'll run this one again. It's at night, you're not going to see much, but it's still kind of fun. I was actually running this timeable while Shred was doing his stream. He went and did, the first time I was doing the subway cars where I was going into Penn Station. Well, I hit Penn Station doing 60 because I was too busy typing and not paying attention. So I decided to run this one. Now that I know this is pretty much a straight run and I don't have to stop where I need to, it's kind of fun. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up. There's a flashlight button. It is over on the right D-pad. And I'm going to turn some lights on, because I need to see what I'm doing. There we go. Now I got some cab lights on. Now I can see what I'm doing. We're going to turn the pumps up. Oh, well, the pumps are already on. Yes, absolutely. They said if you paid for it, it'll come over. Turn my brake off. Turn this brake off. It's on freight already. 1 second, guys. Yeah, it's odd. But also, they've got a, what's called a roadmap of what they're going to be putting out. And the roadmap shows what's new going to be coming to the game. Plus, it's also going to show what DLCs are going to be backwards compatible. Because you've seen the prices. They're $30 for a train line, $20 sometimes for a train. They do have sales, which is nice. Like, I got all my DLCs for $30 or $15 a piece. So I spent $30 where it would have cost me $30 for just one. My trains transfer over when I buy the other game. As you see, this is a night run. It is dark. But I can fix some of that. Usually when you buy a DLC, it comes with 1 to 2 trains. And it is a decent size, I'm gonna stop this so I got a train blaring in my ears. But it's a decent size DLC. It's got 1 to 2 trains, sometimes up to 3. It's also got quite a few lines. We're gonna go to the store. As you see, guys, it's on sale. But I bought the Canadian line. Already own it. Already got it. It won't let me click out of it. Otherwise, it's going to stop everything. But this one came with 2 trains and the ability to haul cargo or passengers. This one's straight up cargo. You could haul whatchamacallit, car trailers, which are like going from the automotive plants to places where they could drop them off to freight yards. You could also haul gasoline and oil and petroleum and that kind of stuff. But some of these others, like the T-Valley line, it's got your old steam engines and your coal powers. It's one of those, get online, look at what people are, if they're playing them, which 9 times out of 10 you're going to find at least a video or 2 on each. And you'll be able to see exactly what's what. There are even some little shunting engines, like this one, which are made just to push cars around in a railroad yard. I bought the baby bullet just because I wanted to actually have a fast going train. But it's like the New York line. I'll talk to Shred a lot about the New York line. The scenarios for this and the timables are you could do train terminal switching, where you could just constantly be switching tracks. You could go from one end of New York to the other. Let's see, timables. And you can pick your different train if you want to do like Amtrak and haul passengers, or you could haul a cargo. It's going to give you a differential on what exactly is going on. This is the German line. They speak German. Your announcers speak German, and a lot of the switches and stuff are in German. But as long as you hover over the top of it, your cursor will show whatever language you're watching. But with this one, it came with, this was in game, it was free, but it came with 3 trains. It's kind of got your bullet trains and your passenger trains and a little bit of cargo. Here's another one that's kind of like the German lines. It's only got 1 train. And then I go over here to my California line, and it's got quite a bit. It's got your subway type trains. This cat pulls these cars, and the baby bullet I bought pulls these. And then you've also got your Union Pacific regular locomotive. Let's click on it and see what we can do. This one's a short one. Looks like it's operating at 0400, so it's going to be dark. But you're going to be operating hoppers, and it looks like moving around contaminated soil. And then you've got your longer ones, where you're taking stuff and moving stuff around and stuff like that. We'll see what this one is. I've installed this game and deleted this game more times than I can count, just because of newer games coming in and out of, and I want to try them. The file size on the Train World Sim games isn't really that big. I think it's like 20 or 30 gigs. The DLCs aren't really that big either. Take about 2-3 minutes to download. Okay, first thing I gotta do is get out of the train. I'm gonna turn my flashlight on so I can see what's going on. Hop down. And run back here and uncouple. See, if you're just mousing around and looking around, you'll eventually come across what it wants you to do. But now that I'm uncoupled, I'm going to race back up here to my engine. Get in, close the door, kind of keep some of the engine noise out. Turn my light on since we're playing in the dark. Sit in the seat. Put the reverser in. Kind of did that out of order. Turn my brake handle to release. Get some air pressure built up. Turn the cutout over to freight. It won't let me move that brake. That's my gauge light right behind it. No, I don't want to throttle up. My radio's on. That's Bob. He doesn't say much. He's kind of an ass. He won't give you nothing to drink. But I'm going to turn some lights on outside. And we're going to get her rolling. Fire him? I can't even get him to get the hell out of the seat. I'll let you pitch to 10. There we go, I got my gauge lights back on. Open up the windows, get some fresh air. And yes, this train can run with its windows open. Now we're going to get it up to power. Since I'm not hauling nothing behind me, getting this bad boy up to speed ain't not an issue. But it says in 400 yards I'm going to have to slow back down, so how much you didn't go ahead and do it. I'm on a upward incline, so speed will fall off pretty easily. Kind of floating with the gas pedal. What I'm doing on this game is I could use my right R1 and R2 bumpers to mess with the gas. L1 and L2 is my brake. Press triangle to play with the camera. So if you're trying to get that good screenshot or whatever, you can do that. Or if you're having issues seeing out the front of the train, you can always move your camera to the front. But what I can probably safely assume with this is I'm going to have to back up and grab some. Pull up here, stop, jump out, reset these controls right there, and work up with it. Oh, I derailed. That's nice. But I'm gonna be right back, guys. Sorry about that. Nature called, had no choice but to answer. Oh, so that was one of those, you have one controller that does everything. Push forward for brake, push back for gas, but it's all one lever. I think I have one of those trains. And I think it's this one. Ooh, snow. I've never done this. We're gonna try it. Yeah, the weather app on my phone is crazy right this second. It says it's raining outside, but yet I'm looking out at my cornfields and there ain't nothing but nice blue sunny skies. Okay, so we're in London. Do we have snow? But yeah, anytime you're actually allowed to move around at your stations, kind of look to see if there's any spots where you have to put like a sign up, or like right there, that should be a sign. Yep. Safety signs, place where people spilt water, that kind of stuff. If they're gonna give you free will to move, I use it. If you see a blank, looks like a poster or a sign supposed to be there, usually if you just scroll across it, there should be one. For running, it's the R2 button. Hi guys. You all look mean and hateful. Knowledge. I don't know crap about these trains. Except for most of them all drive the same. I was watching this YouTuber. They get 27 paid holidays in Great Britain, UK, England, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's interesting. Here in the States, we get like 10, 12 if you're lucky. Well, there's snow on the ground. This looks complicated. Okay, I don't know what AWS is. Hey, there's a horn. Turn some heat on. I'm awake. Thank you. Set the train to run. What the hell's run? Okay. we go. I am going to go in here and mess with the sound options real quick. Yes, I want the prompts. I'm not that smart. Turn the FX down a little bit. Turn the ambience down a little bit. Hit the apply. As y'all can see from the button configuration, this is a PS4. It's not a Pro. It's just a regular PS4. I learned to get a little bit extra XP if you play with buttons. So, I like pushing buttons. I don't know what the XP does. But they're still nice to mess with. Turn the window de-icer on. And we're going to cruise on down the road. I want to see the outside. I want to see the snow. Nice lighting effects. Kind of got the glare off the lamps and stuff where the snow. You got a little bit of reflective from train's headlight. It's properly masking on stuff. It's not really sitting on the train, but the train's also moving. It says I get up to speed, so let's turn and burn. Now I'm gonna look and yeah, I'm gonna have a few stops. Okay. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see if it's gonna let me do it. Am I stuck? Yeah, I can't do it. What I was gonna do is see if it'll let me go back and sit in the seats and ask who the hell's driving this thing. Doesn't have a bell. For the sun, I don't know if that's better than FS19 or not. I have no clue. The lighting effects though are nice. But I guess these guys and girls want to hurry up and get to their stop, so we're hurrying up and getting to their stop. Do I personally feel comfortable with taking a train doing 80 mile an hour on snowy tracks with this much wobble and bobble? Not really. I'm gonna cut the power back. Just let it float. Yeah, screw it. I don't know where I'm supposed to stop. I'll probably fail somewhere along here. Now some of the other trains, I could kind of do one of those, my own thing, where I could just slam on the brakes, hit the E-stop, kind of break the train and tell everybody to get off, and then actually start it back up and leave. This one, not so much. I don't know this train. I did the tutorial in it. I briefly started it up, stopped it, got out, that kind of thing, but not actually doing any kind of missions with it. And I'm still getting points for going under the speed limit at 109 miles an hour. I want to try something. It won't let me open the door. I was gonna open the door and jump. Just for some comedy. The times we live in, we need some kind of laughter. Holy sh... I can't catch that. I didn't buy the Suicide DLC? No, they didn't tell me about it. Hell, they could offer that one for $1.99. Journey Shrinker. Okay. Well, I was speeding a little too fast. I also let off the gas. But there's no way in hell I'd be feeling safe floating around on a train doing this kind of speeds, this kind of weather. I'm going to have to give a check on speed. Watch this. It's going. does slow down. So let's tap a little brake. Not that much brake. Does it look like I've got to stop coming up here? Possibly. They do, and they've actually got more camera options than what we've got. Yeah, screw that stop. Yeah, I did it. But to do the camera options thing was to hold the right stick down, and then it gives you a bunch of different options. Yeah, broke another one. Getting pretty good at that. But see, when I was talking about the road maps in the JG area, kind of shows what they're working on. Like, this is their August roadmap. Kind of gives up further information on what's coming up, what they've worked on, what they're going to work on, what's the release dates, or the release times, new stuff they're bringing in, what they're working on behind the scenes, what's in their planning. So it's pretty cool. They keep us up to date with what's going on with the game. This game, they're pretty much said they're done. But here's all your shortcuts. We can't necessarily change them around, but we can mess with them depending on what terrain you're in. Here's your on foot stuff, how to interact with your cameras, turntables. I have not messed with the turntable yet. It kind of freaks me out to park a train on someplace and then just spin it around. You can set your default where you run a lot. That's great when you're out of the train. But when you're in the train trying to move around, it doesn't really work real well. You can turn all this stuff on to whatever you want. You could even disable the derailing. I leave it on. It's a little more realistic. You can shut off your HUD. So if you want to get a screenshot, you just come in here, press pause real quick, shut your HUD off. But here's a kind of look through of what I've got as train wise. Nothing too special. Shows the level of proficiency I have on each train. Some of them have different liveries, like what they've got in some of the race car games. And like NASCAR's got it, Forza's got it, some of them where you could just change the look of the train. And Trains SimWorld 2, you could design your own. So let's say you want a blue train and want to kind of draw flames on it, you could do that. Or you could put your own writing on it. one of the devs actually put on his grip it or rip it on his bullet train. But other than that, guys, that's hold on one second. Yeah, there's the live. It also shows progression, what tiers you are. I don't own this one. I own that one. I own that one. But it kind of gives a progression on where you are. But other than that, guys, I've tortured you for about an hour on Train World Sim. Try to give some useful information. If you missed anything, you can always go back and rewatch it. If you don't mind hitting the like button. If you want to, you could hit the sub if you haven't. I know there's only been 2 people watching. One of them's Red. Thanks for watching, man. Have any questions, holler at me in the Discord. Other than that, I'll catch y'all later. I'm out of here.